To address the issues facing Tennesseans today, from 10 News, this is Inside Tennessee.
Good morning and welcome to Inside Tennessee. I'm your moderator, John Becker. We are 86 days away from a historic vote in East Tennessee. Congressman Jimmy Duncan has served the 2nd District since 1988. It's on your screen now. He replaced his father, who helped hold that seat for more than 25 years. The district now includes Knoxville, Maryville, as well as 700,000 people. The two major party candidates join us on the broadcast this morning, Republican Tim Burchett and Democrat Renee Hoyos. We appreciate you both being here and congratulations on your primary wins.
Thank you.
Our panel this morning, Democrat Don Bosch, who runs his own law firm, and Susan Richardson Williams, who runs her own PR firm. She happens to be a Republican.
Good morning.
Good morning.
For our viewers, for the first couple of minutes, we're going to do something fun here. Simple yes-no answer through a list of questions will set the table for a bit of a deeper discussion. So, Renee Hoyos, we're going to start with you. Yes, no, you believe Russia meddled in the 2016 election. Yes or no?
Likely.
Mayor Burchett.
Yes, they meddle in everything.
You favor a President Trump-style wall across the Mexico border, Mayor Burchett.
Yes.
No.
President Trump should continue direct talks with North Korea.
Yes.
Yes.
Global warming is real and a threat to overall health of our planet, Mayor Burchett.
Conditionally.
Conditionally, yes. Renee Hoyos.
Absolutely yes.
Former Environmental Protection Agency Director Scott Pruitt deserves praise for his efforts to roll back environmental regulations, especially those tied to stricter fuel emissions. Renee?
Nope.
Mayor Burchett.
Yes.
You would support Tennessee Senator Lamar Alexander's plan to pay for the maintenance backlog in national parks through profits from harvesting of natural resources on federal land. Mayor Burchett?
Yes.
Yes.
To the economy, the president's recent tariff policies on steel and other goods will help the Tennessee economy in the long run. Yes or no, Ms. Hoyos?
No.
You didn't say my name.
Mr. Burchett, sorry.
No.
No. You support a balanced budget amendment to the Constitution.
Yes.
Yes.
You would support increasing the age younger generations are eligible for Social Security to help reduce the strain on the budget.
For Social Security?
Yes.
No.
That's the question again.
Sure.
You caught me off guard, right?
You would support increasing the age
wait,
younger
wait.
Okay, so
Sorry, let's do it again.
Let's do it again. We'll go to you. You would support increasing the age younger generations are eligible for Social Security. So raising that age that they would be eligible to help reduce the strain on the budget.
No.
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 No. Healthcare. Basic health care is a fundamental right for all U.S. citizens. Mayor Burchett.
No.
Conditional.
Medicare and Medicaid should be expanded to include more people.
Yes.
No. Can't afford it.
Military veterans should be able to see any doctor they choose or that they need without restriction. Mayor Burchett.
Yes.
Yes.
Here's a catch-all. You will self-impose a term limit of 12 years.
Yes.
I'll vote for it.
You'll vote for it. But you would you
it's gotta get to
self-impose
the
it?
floor. Yeah. No, I'm not.
But until then.
I'm not going to agree to this. I mean, I've signed the term limits pledge. I mean, the national pledge. I was one of the first people. I may be the only one that did. So I'm firmly in the camp of term limits. But you've got to get something on the floor. And to say you're going to vote for it in the caucus is one thing. But when you're
I
on
thought
the
this was a
floor-
yes/no.
It's just well, we'll get to more on this.
Don't you believe in First Amendment?
in the interest of
Renee Hoyos
He's
is
not the
against
guy to-
First Amendment. That's our first ad. Somebody get a.
In the interest of transparency, you would consider publishing a public calendar of everyone you meet with formally in your office in Washington or here in the district. Renee.
Yes.
Yes.
Congressman Jimmy Duncan was right to vote against the invasion of Iraq.
Yes.
I'll say yes.
Okay, our last three questions. The Mueller investigation, Mayor Burchett, is a witch hunt.
Yes.
No.
The president tweets too much.
Me? Oh, absolutely.
I love Twitter. No.
Okay. And finally, the Citizens United case by the Supreme Court was good for politics. This opened up the ability to spend lots of money in our political system.
No.
Mayor Burchett.
Conditionally. I think you ought to have to say where the money comes from.
Okay. So now we come to the phase in our discussion. Great job on the yes/nos. Was there one that I mentioned that you think needs more explanation? You answered a couple conditionally. Renee, we'll start with you. Any that you want to say, hey, yes, but, or no, but?
I can't remember them all now. There were so many. Well, when it comes to health care, I really think that we need to shore up the Affordable Care Act, and we need to lower the age of Medicare, and we need to then see if that works, with a premium, that we should offer it to everybody. So I really think that we should make sure that health care is affordable and accessible for all people. I just want to clarify that.
Mayor Burchett, your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm concerned about health care too, but if you offer it to everyone, you're looking at about a $36 trillion bill, and that would, if you doubled everybody's personal income tax and every corporate tax over the next 10 years, we still wouldn't have it paid for. So I think you got to figure out what it's going to cost. Yeah, I'd like people to have health care, but at what cost? But the thing I was concerned about, I wanted to clarify, was the campaign finance reform. What we're going to have in this country, because I think my race, the primary proved it. There's a lot of outside money that comes in, and we have to be able to disclose the independent expenditures that come in. These are tack pieces that nobody knows where they came from. If you're going to remove the limits, well, that make sure you know where the money's coming from.
It's different than Citizens United. Citizens United allowed unlimited giving by corporations to PACs and other political entities. It wasn't so much about disclosure, and I think the question is all of that corporate high dollar money good for American politics? And the argument is, does it take the ordinary voter, and you've always been sort of common man, that's been your shtick.
Yeah.
It takes the common voter out of being able to have an influence in the election.
I agree with you there, but the other side of the argument, Don, would be that just put the corporations on the same footing as the unions and some of the other groups that those laws were actually
I don't have
designed.
a problem with the unions having to live under the same
Well,
same
if they
set of
all
rules.
live under the same rules, then we're okay. But that's the problem. They weren't, and that's why that rule came across.
Ms. Hoyos, your perspective, and then we'll have to break.
Well, we've decided to not take any PAC money. And that's because these decisions and the way people govern need to be identified in the candidacy. And today we had a congressman indicted for insider trading with pharmaceuticals, and we have a congresswoman in this state that has taken a lot of pharmaceutical money and then has done their bidding. So we are not doing any PAC money. And I'm interested to hear if you would stop taking PAC money, because I know you have.
I'll take PAC money. I'll take a contribution from you, Renee.
And that will be disclosed.
Yeah, I would hope it would be.
We will come back with more of our discussion with the two major party candidates in the Congressional 2 District race coming up right after this.